This is
Up
for Grabs, a podcast where three unfiltered friends talk about anything and everything. And now, here are your hosts, Tracy, Kim, and Rachel.
Welcome to Up for Grabs. I'm Rachel. I'm here with my friends Kim.
Hello.
Hello. And Tracy.
Hi.
Hi. Good to see you again. Today on Up for Grabs, we're going to kind of just get all of our listeners back into the loop on the late breaking and what do they call all the news breaks?
Just the thing that's happening? What do you mean?
No, like they're always like breaking news and like everything is breaking news.
Newsflash?
Yes. And but I think that I'm not sure what you guys are going to report on from the news desk today, but the stories that I found are just a little bit less serious.
Yeah, I'm staying away from serious because it's too depressing.
I see a pattern to mine that I didn't see prior to you guys categorizing them just now, so we'll see.
Okay. Are you sad? Are we going to cry?
No, well,
okay.
I don't think so.
Okay.
How sad are you? I mean, what kind of mood you in? I don't know.
Pretty much anything can bring me to tears at this point.
That's the second half.
No, so, I mean, the real quote-unquote breaking news is depressing. So I think we've all reached our breaking point with breaking news. We can't
Absolutely.
We can't have it anymore.
Right.
So this is just to give everybody just kind of an up-to-date on maybe stories they might have missed when they were focusing on the breaking news.
Other things that are going on.
Correct. That
Okay.
may or may not make you sad.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay. But the first thing I want to talk about, this is not a breaking news story, but it is something that happened recently, and it's a topic that we were going to discuss solely as the topic of tonight's podcast, and that was the Oprah special on menopause.
Yeah, Menopause Revolution.
It was a
whatever.
revolution.
Not so much the special, but
What
Did
are you
you
mad
watch
about?
it?
I watched it.
You weren't mad about it? It was ridiculous.
It was like a commercial.
it was a commercial and it was a plug for Demi Moore and Naomi Watts for
Yeah.
whatever reason. And it just...
and for
Demi Moore.
Mary
Moore,
Claire.
Halle Berry.
Thank
Mary
you.
Claire.
The OB
Pepper,
doc, the
whatever.
big,
Yeah.
the Instagram
Haver.
doctor. Who what? You don't like her?
I don't know her.
I like her. I followed her for
I
several
follow her
years,
and I
but-
feel like she's validated a lot of things
But
that...
over the past couple of years, she's become more commercial.
Yeah,
Just like
it always
everybody.
happens.
Just
her own
like everybody. Her
supplements and
own
her own...
supplements, her own stuff. And I'm like, I followed you before you
Yeah,
did that.
don't-
And
yeah.
now I'm like mad because I feel
So this
taken.
is Dr. Mary Claire Haver.
Yes.
Yes.
Havor.
But she at least is of the age going through it.
Yes.
And it's validating people.
Yes, that's what I think. You're exactly right on that.
But here's my thing. When Oprah has a comeback to TV special, and she's like one of the most powerful and rich people in the media right now,
Right.
and she tells me there's a menopause revolution, I must tune in. I'm expecting Oprah to tell me something that I'm going to be able to apply to my menopausal situation that's going to help me immediately. A revolution to me seems like there's something available to me that I don't know about that's going to
Be
help.
revealed in
Yes,
that
it's going to be.
revelation.
Yes, and that it's going to help every woman of a certain age who's dealing with all the things that menopause brings on.
I
And
know.
all it told me was menopause still exists. It's awful. It has hundreds of symptoms. And you better be your own advocate to figure out
Yeah.
your own health. Period. She ended the show.
First of all, when I was Googling when it was going to be on or whatever, I expected it to be on her network. And I understand she put it on where everybody could have access to it.
Right, that's why I thought she was going to say
But
something important.
Make it your own network. Make it a 3-part series or whatever, and really outline Because I think that I follow her on Instagram, and I think her big takeaway from doing that special was, let's get the conversation started.
Who's her?
Oprah.
Oprah, okay.
Let's get the conversation started. Yes, I think she's been doing this whole menopause talk for the last couple of years.
The conversation started a long time ago.
But now we need practical tips. And what do I say to my doctor? What do I ask about? What kind of lab should I get drawn? And I know is it Mary Claire?
Yes.
Mary Claire. She is a very good resource on Instagram for just the beginnings of it.
Yes.
On, what you should,
Well, I was just so disappointed.
Me too.
First, she brought out Halle Berry. Now, I'm sorry, Halle Berry is going through menopause. Okay, but do I care? I'm like, all she did is say the same symptoms that I'm having, and then say, since she's rich, she also launched this platform, like this website called Respin, where people just, I don't know, complain about all the stuff that happens to them in menopause and wishes that it didn't.
But what did she end it with? Have a siesta.
Have a siesta.
God damn.
Throw a party when
Throw
you go through menopause.
Please tell me.
Now have a siesta.
Okay, if that is the revolution that I was supposed to pick up from that special, how did you remember that siesta?
I would like you guys to throw me a siesta.
I remember too. You know what I kept thinking about was a she shed. Remember that commercials? Those commercials.
I also want a she shed.
I definitely want a she shed, but that's what made me
down by
remember
the
it.
seashore.
Siesta.
No, that reminded me of like your quinceañera. I'm like, a siesta?
A siesta.
That's dumb, and it made me mad.
Okay, well then you don't get one.
So she makes me mad. She made me mad. And then I thought, well, next they brought out the doctor, Mary Claire Haver. I'm like, now we're getting into it. She wrote a book.
That's
Good for her. Yeah. The new menopause. FYI, not new.
It's the same menopause.
It's the same menopause that no one seems to know anything about and how to make it not awful. And then she brought out Naomi Watts, which made no sense whatsoever.
None.
I barely even know who she is.
Yeah, they were like TV or movie star or whatever.
She
I'm like,
had a Golden Globe back in 1999. I'm like, okay. She wrote a book, and she has some sort of beauty brand that somehow helps with menopause. And then they trotted out Maria Shriver, and I'm like, well, maybe she's a hard-hitting newswoman of old. Maybe she has really delved into this and is going to tell me something I need to know.
They're just buddies. They're besties.
She said there's a brain-body connection, and she's funding research about that, about menopause.
That part would be interesting. I'm always interested in that. It's going to be related to a leaky gut. Everything is related to a leaky gut.
You just wanted to say leaky gut.
No, everything is related. Because that's how it affects your brain. Everything knows that.
Everybody knows that?
Yeah. So I wrote a list of some of the symptoms of menopause. Since we were going to talk about it.
Yes.
Fatigue.
Yeah.
Frozen shoulder.
Sure.
Itchy ears.
What?
Tinnitus. Vertigo. Anxiety. Bloating. Palpitations. Joint pain. Low libido. Body odor. Whiskers. Hair loss. Heavy periods. Arthritis. So we lose muscle mass, we lose bone mass, we gain weight, we gain water.
Okay.
It's cute. It's very cute.
It wreaks havoc on your body.
Well, here's my thing. Because my mom sat and watched it just for a second with me, and I told her, with all of the symptoms, what I thought this Oprah revolution was going to be is that there was some way now that doctors could actually link a symptom like depression or any of the other 60 that
Itchy
ears, somehow make a definitive link that symptom is menopause.
Well,
all they can say now is it's probably menopause. Don't know. No way to know for sure.
Yeah.
Except you're old.
What I took away from it the most was, because I'm in the perimenopause phase. I have felt probably the worst I've ever felt in my life for the past 2 years. And I've always been an anxious anxiety person, and I just chalked it up to my body's changing and I have anxiety. Just recently, I've started advocating for myself, and that's the takeaway that I took from it, was that when I talked to my mom about it, and this is no disrespect to my mom.
It's a generation.
We just, you know what? We go through it. It's fine. It'll pass. Just like childbirth. I never had an epidural. I did just fine. It's that kind of thing. It was never spoken of. I knew my mom had hot flashes, and that is it. I never knew how she felt mentally. I never knew how she felt. So when I talk to my mom about my symptoms, I think that she thinks that most of it's in my head.
Right.
I don't ever remember having joint pain. Oh, I never had like arthritic, like.
Well, because
and then you just I feel so unheard.
Well,
like
I think
I'm going crazy.
Your mom and my mom come from the suck it up.
Yeah.
No one's going to come and help you anyway, so there's no use talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of still true in 2025. I mean, Oprah wanted to talk about it, and we talked, and I didn't walk away knowing any more than I knew.
Well, you should supplement vitamin D, fiber, creatine, and collagen. All of those things will be helpful.
How much of it, though?
Well, I had my vitamin D checked, and it was low, like really low.
Yeah.
That maybe would explain why my joints hurt all the time. I'm on like 4,000 milligrams or whatever of vitamin D daily, and you go and you get every woman in our age group are probably deficient in vitamin D.
Okay.
Now I haven't done the other stuff. I did start progesterone because my estrogen is still good.
Okay.
Well, progesterone is your sleep hormone, and you take it at night, and that helps with a variety of things. I can already tell a difference.
Okay, that's the one I started taking and quit taking.
And I think, so, and all of it is an adjustment period as far as, how you're going to feel and how it's going to, and it's not going to affect everyone the same way either.
Well, I was also kind of, I'm not confused about it. Well, no, I am. The replacement therapy, the hormone replacement therapy that was so linked to cancer. Oh my gosh, nobody should do that. Now, Oprah was just saying that it's okay to do.
The study wasn't a good study.
But when I went to my doctor and said, what about hormone replacement? She's like, oh, we don't recommend that. And I thought, why not?
Yeah.
But how old? Yeah, it just makes you wonder. It's a general.
Well, she's my age. So I don't know if it's still...
If she hasn't got the memo?
Either the memo hasn't come across her desk yet, or she just really thinks that there's some sort of risk that isn't worth taking.
Well, I also follow this 50-year-old lady that takes testosterone. I mean, people are taking it.
She tested my OB tested my testosterone.
I didn't even know girls could. Yeah. I didn't know girls had testosterone. All right, does that make me sound like a dummy?
No, I didn't either. When I saw my blood panel that was taken, because she goes, I'm just going to test your hormones. I was like, testosterone? I mean, like,
do I have testicles?
I mean, no wonder I have chin hair.
Well, that's what I said. I'm like, I have a full beard. I think I have some sort of
But I think that...
I didn't know.
I mean, for a doctor to listen to you and even test your blood, a lot of them, if you're still regular and have regular cycles, they don't even touch you. Nope. They don't even want to, address what's going on, but I don't know.
Well, my takeaway from that is maybe the next time I go in to see my doctor, I might push a little harder about hormone replacement, because what if I just tried it a little bit? I mean, I think you would know within a month if it had a good reaction for your body. Like,
well, and
go ahead.
If you're high risk, okay, do you have heart disease? Do you have a blood clotting disorder? Do you have this? I think that the majority of the time, the benefits outweigh the risks. And I think with that study, that's kind of what they found, was that it's not really hurting your heart or causing cancer the way that we once thought it did. Right. The study wasn't a good study. They redid the study and did it tenfold and found completely different results.
There is, if you have a doctor that's hard to talk to, but you don't know where to start with your stuff, and if you have things going on or you have concerns and you've read about it online or watched an Oprah show, whatever, I'm not saying everyone should do this, but if you have a little bit of disposable income, there are websites like Own Your Labs.
Yep.
and other ones like that.
Functional
I don't know
doctors.
Other functional doctors, they're expensive.
Or nurse
But,
practitioners, they're functional.
On your labs, you literally put in what tests you want.
Yep.
You print it out at home. You take it to LabCorp. They run your blood work, and they give you your results. Now, then you can take it to your doctor and say,
here.
I am
Ordering your own lab work?
You can order whatever, test by test. You can go down the whole list, and it's 1,000 things.
Is this
you
a
can
website?
test. Yes, ownyourlabs.com. Yeah.
And it's legitimate.
I don't get paid for this advertisement.
No, it's legitimate. And
it's legitimate, and some tests are $8. I don't know what that is, but you know what I mean. Like,
Right.
and then others are $45. You know, like so.
No, I agree.
Interesting.
Talk about advocating for yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what you have to do it, especially if you're feeling lousy.
Well, I don't even know if I'm feeling lousy anymore.
I feel like I don't even know
I think you're lousy. I don't know how you're feeling.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, that's all I have to say about menopause. Good luck
Yeah.
to you all out there.
Advocate. Educate
I'm
yourself.
through mine. I know you guys are both peri or mid.
No,
You're done?
well, wait a minute. Aren't you? No, you're not done.
Well,
I thought it just.
No,
how
I'm
long-
done.
Okay,
They ran this after my lumpectomy last year.
Yeah.
They ran.
So they know
they
that
ran
you're-
my labs, and I
Okay.
am.
Because that was another
At a
question:
0.
is how long are you in menopause? Because
So is it?
menopause,
I thought it never ended.
No, She said I am through menopause.
So now what are you?
postmenopausal, which
Postmenopausal.
Which
a lot of the
1,000 years old.
aggravating symptoms though should have dissipated.
do you
They should
feel?
have. No, have you seen
No.
me?
So I can
Dear
ask. I can
God.
ask off the record, but yeah, I just wonder like how long, because menopause is considered when you haven't had a period for 12 months.
Right.
That's when, and I just wondered how long that period of time, no pun intended, that stretches out with the hormones still kind of in there fluctuating back and forth.
Right. Well, for me, again, another thing that played into it was I had to have a, what do you call it? When they clean everything out.
Oh,
in there.
like a
ablation.
Ablation, yeah.
Ablation.
So that
I
kind
was
of put you a little bit in.
I bled for more than a month straight, heavy.
Right.
And
Ew.
so, it was fun. I highly recommend it. And then, so then they did an ablation, and I didn't bleed again, ever. Like I just never had another period. So then after the lumpectomy, she said, we're going to take some blood work.
Let's see where you
see
are.
where you are. And it was,
Okay.
I'm done. Because I'm like, I don't know.
So you should be telling us good stories about
It
how
doesn't get any better.
God, I
I'm
love you.
sorry.
Yeah.
Because it's just a process of aging as well.
Yeah.
And I just think the
Look
depletion.
at my mustache. Do you think I have anything to brag about?
Hello, sir. Yeah, okay, that's all I wanted to talk about menopause is just that it's there and it made me sad. That's
for
my
our male listeners,
yeah,
just-
pay attention.
No, they should pay attention.
Be a listening ear and
We're
maybe
not that
educate
crazy.
yourselves a little bit.
They're
about
saying that
because
currently 70% of divorces of women in their 50s attributed to menopause.
Really?
Yes, which somebody needs to suck it up and deal with it and help your wives through some of this, but that's just me.
I think you're right.
So anyway, that's a little something, a little interesting tidbit.
Okay.
So for the men who are listening,
yeah, and it is. I mean, men don't. You don't go through it. You don't get it. But just be supportive.
yeah.
And don't say you're making it up.
No.
Is this perimenopause again?
Again?
My husband doesn't listen all the time. I'm throwing him under the bus bigger than life right now.
Oh my
goodness.
gosh. Beep,
Yeah.
beep. That's
He
not
just doesn't, and just doesn't understand it.
Well,
Yeah.
neither do I.
So
I get it.
Well, we all need to read up.
Okay, so no siestas for any of us yet.
nah. Give me
Yeah, I
give me a
still want
shisha.
mine.
Oh, you still
I still want my siesta.
Okay, fine.
At least a party pizza, something.
party pizza.
Oh my God.
Something.
Tracy, please tell me another breaking news story that I don't know about that is going to
Okay.
be interesting.
I have seen a couple of things lately about Russell Brand speaking out against his rape allegations.
Yes, I watched it.
That's a bold move,
I've
Russell.
seen it twice now, where at two different times that he has spoken about it.
What did he say?
I am so torn.
I know.
Because
I'm
he
not.
Is, okay, I am always a believer of people who say they have been SA'd. His thing is, I'm not torn because you're right. His thing is, I was a drunk and I was a sex addict. But I never forced anyone to do anything that they didn't want to do.
How does he know? He was drunk.
He was drunk. I agree. Now, do I think people were throwing themselves at him back then? Absolutely.
Okay, but should they have been? He's scary.
I liked him back then.
I
He
went through a
scared
phase
me.
on,
No.
at the height of his popularity.
Yes.
Yeah, I did like him.
I didn't.
Not
I did
anymore.
too.
I think that he showed his true colors.
Yes.
I think that it's a bold statement to say that you didn't rape anyone per se when you weren't in your right mind.
Correct.
And you probably coerced people in uncomfortable positions that they just didn't say no to.
Correct.
And if somebody felt violated in some way, let's talk about it in the court and see what they have. I don't know. I don't know.
He's like
He's a born again Christian.
He seems very up in arms over defending himself
Yeah,
to the point where I'm uncomfortable.
It's
with
uncomfortable.
The fervor that he is using to defend himself.
It makes him almost look more suspicious
Yes.
to me. But
And like he's not a celebrity anymore, right?
No.
Like he hasn't done anything
he was,
other than
he was blacklisted.
he has a wife and a couple
does?
kids.
Yeah.
Well, then he just needs to be quiet and go live his.
Well, but these charges have just come up, and so he thinks he's going to defend himself, and I don't think it's going to work in his favor. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we'll keep an eye out for
So Russell Brand back in the news.
back in the news.
That's
Kim,
what
what
I
do you got?
Well, did anybody watch White Lotus? Because
No.
that's everywhere. Have you watched any of the seasons?
No,
I haven't either, but I know some of what happened.
This one was okay. So
is it
Mike,
kind of like Fantasy Island? That's the only thing I want.
I mean, they
Like a
are
weird
on,
fantasy
they are
island?
at real locations. So this was in Thailand. They were at a luxurious White Lotus resort. And what happens with White Lotus, and I'm not giving anything away, although I feel like unless you cared, spoilers are okay because it was a season finale.
Yes.
But it always starts out with an undisclosed murder at the first episode. Somebody died and you just don't know, and then they go back. They go backwards. Is it Mike White? Is that the director, producer? He's kind of like a Ryan Murphy.
Yes.
Okay. He crosses the
messy?
line.
He a little messy?
And he's a little messy.
Oh, he
and
crossed the line in this season.
season was a slow burn. The first 2 or 3 episodes, I was like, I'm not really sure if I'm liking the characters. I'm not really sure, but let me tell you, hang on, because it's a good one. There was some incestual activity.
Excuse me.
Yes.
And I will say, and I don't know how to, I've read a lot about it. I kind of understand a little bit on why he put it in there. Because he was trying to really dive into the characters.
Oh yeah.
And you have to watch it to understand it. And it's uncomfortable and it's cringy, but it did not make me stop watching it.
Okay.
It's good.
Well, that's pushing that taboo just as far as it will go, isn't it?
It pushed it, and it was uncomfortable, but I think it fed well into the storyline.
Okay.
I am fangirling. Last year was Pedro Pascal, who I still am absolutely in love with. This year, it's Walter Goggins.
Walton.
Gosh darn it, I never say that right.
Is it
'cause
right?
Yes, it is. You're right. It's Walton Goggins,
Love him.
who was all the
Righteous
stuff
Gemstones?
all the stuff with Danny McBride.
Really?
He's been in that Vice Principals. He's been in.
Yes, I forgot about Vice Principal.
He's crazy. This was a very, very serious role. And I am telling you,
He's in White Lotus too. He's in everything.
He killed it. He absolutely killed it. And it's a whole new level of love for
Okay.
him that I have.
Another show that Walton Goggins is in that I haven't watched, but Rob watched and would not stop talking about, and it's older. It was on FX. It's called Justified.
Oh, I've
It's he
I've
and
not watched it
Timothy
either.
Oliphant are playing like he antagonists. Like they're
Okay.
Rob raves about
Okay.
Justified.
And he's in
I'll
that
have to watch
new
Justified.
series. First season last year was Fallout. It's based on like a video game, kind of
Oh.
like The Last of Us with Pedro Pascal. But anyways, I haven't heard about I'm not
that.
going to. If you guys haven't, you need to watch the third.
Okay.
And you can watch any season, and there are some interconnecting characters, but it's not the same storyline, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Which season 2 has been my favorite, but the finale of season 3 was by far my favorite.
Okay.
So, yeah.
That just in.
All right.
I wanted to make sure everyone saw that a man put up a flyer on like a poll that said, "Come watch me fold a fitted sheet."
I think I might go. I think I might watch that.
It was the video was. I think I saw the video on TikTok, but I looked it up just to get more information because I laughed so hard. So this man, he's a comedian. His name is Dan Borman, and he was in New Zealand for this international comedy festival. And so he decided to kind of market himself. He put a note up that said, 1 o'clock on this day, come and see me fold a fitted sheet. And so it was right outside a Taco Bell in New Zealand, and which helped with foot traffic. Well, I don't know. He must have probably also promoted it on social media, but over 700 people showed up to this corner to watch him fold a fitted sheet. And he did it. And like everyone was like chanting, "Fold that sheet." Like, you just got to look it up. But I was like, really? But the thing that I thought was cute about it was that his comedy that he was there to do at the festival focuses on how millennial men, how they need women in their lives to help them
to survive.
And so he was trying to show off by saying, "Look, I can fold a fitted sheet without any help." So that happened. So if you want to see him do that, there is a video online, and you can.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's breaking news.
That is breaking news.
That's breaking news. More later.
All right, my turn.
Back to you, Tracy.
So, okay, I didn't get the memo that we weren't doing like anything serious.
So what? We can do serious.
I'm
but
glad you
not-
did.
But I'm not doing like political serious.
That's what I didn't
No,
want.
I'm not doing
I
that.
didn't think any of
Okay,
us
good.
would anyways.
If I see one more MFing teacher arrested for having sex with children,
I almost wrote that one down too.
I am going to lose my ever-loving mind.
Unreal that this is still happening.
So, two.
Which one are you talking about?
The
I'm
one that
talking about a
plastered
couple of-
herself all over it.
Okay.
Ugh.
One is in Mooresville, Indiana.
Yeah, I don't know
yeah.
much about that story. I don't know much about that.
Okay. There are, I want to say, like 10 middle school age, junior high boys involved.
Ew.
She has spoken out many times since being arrested like a fool. She wishes she had lost a bunch of weight. She wishes she never did because she said she would have never
my
been in this
gosh.
position. She and her husband, he was involved.
What?
Filmed them or her and the multiple students having sex at the same time and with each other and like kind of like threatened them but also like paid them. I don't know, it's the craziest thing I've ever heard of.
Do you say that these are like middle school boys?
They might be junior high, but I think
Yeah.
like 10 to
So
12.
not high school.
No, not high school.
like young.
Oh,
Ew.
she's going to be behind bars the rest of her life.
I hope so.
Insane. And the pictures of her off of her social media, oh my gosh, like floppy bikinis, like the kind that are just like the little
Okay, this is the story that I have. I didn't real. How did I not know this was local? I know who you're talking about.
Okay, yeah, she's in Mooresville.
Oh, yeah.
Well-
she. Yeah.
Well, I was the one I had forgotten about that one because one came up between there. I remember when the Mooresville one happened because I was like, oh my God, right in my back. Ew.
Yeah.
And then just recently, did you see the one like in like the west suburbs of Chicago?
She's the other one, Downers Grove.
Downers Grove.
Yeah.
Yes. That was having a relationship with a 15-year-old.
Yes.
And she had just gotten married to the love of her life. And like,
She was pretty. Her husband is handsome. He's rich. They got married
makes no
like
sense.
over in where is it that like really really rich people get married?
Like the Amalfi Coast.
Yes.
I mean, okay.
That's where she
Yeah.
got married.
just
In
this
Italy.
last summer, right?
Yes, this past summer, she had this affair with this 15-year-old boy. It's not an affair. She was sexually assaulting
Yeah,
him.
I was gonna. Yeah.
But it was ongoing. And the mom found text messages from a couple of years past. And she was like, what the? And she looks. And then when they arrest her and they get in her phone, in her notes app, she has a memoir that she has been keeping notes to this day. She had put in a note that day about how this boy would never have anyone better than her. He will regret it.
Oh my God.
Crazy town. Crazy town.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I think I saw there was like footage of her being arrested.
Yes, in her driveway, and then
And she was just acting so surprised. What
she
could
was
this
like,
be about?
Whatever could this be? I don't know. Could you give me any
just
hints?
love to dive-
She was asking for hints on what it could be.
I felt
dive
so bad for
into-
her husband. He was in the car.
Her background and her upbringing and her mental health, that is crazy.
She ruined a perfectly good life
Yeah.
for no reason.
Yes. And that boy's life.
And that boy.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, another thing that I'm going to say before we move on and let you do the next one, I also get very aggravated when you read these stories on social media and it's a female teacher and young male boys, the comments from the men always say, where were teachers like that when I was in school? Well,
Gross.
you're gross. Every time, that's all they say.
No, I know.
Now, if it's a male teacher and a girl, hang him up.
Pervert, crazy.
whatever.
Yeah.
Male teacher on a male,
Yep.
pervert, whatever. But female teacher,
Yeah.
it's a whole nother thing. And I'm saying across the board, keep your hands to yourselves, nasty.
And it makes me. My sister was a high school teacher for like 24 years, and I remember sometime there was an uptick in stories like that, and I told her, I'm like, because she was young and single and pretty and smart, and she did everything for the kid, like, you know, she went to the stuff, like she was the involved teacher, and I said, oh my gosh, Elizabeth, I'm kind of afraid. I'm like, keep your door open when you tutor. Like,
Yeah, because
it's
you just never...
it could just turn into a student. They could make it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just thinking of from her perspective. I'm like, that's scary to think that you have to even think about that. If you're of a pure heart and being a good teacher that you're supposed to be, that you have to concern yourself with whether people think
Yeah.
you're doing something gross. So, yeah. Teachers have enough to deal with,
Correct.
but
And then the bad ones, my gosh, quit exploiting that, you know, it's disgusting.
Kim, back to you.
I mean, I was just more pop culture. And I mean, I think this is a hot time for shows to be released and for
Yeah.
new things
Yes.
to come out. So Handmaid's Tale started yesterday.
Yeah. And I don't want to watch. I want to build some up.
I know
because-
they did release the first 3 episodes. Yeah. So
I
there's
thought it
10
was
in
just
total. So they did release 3. So that's Hulu. It's the final season. So it's a revolution. They used the word revolution in it.
Watch out, Oprah.
Did any of you watch You with Penn Badgley? He's like the stalker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So the final season of You is like the end of April.
Okay.
And then I'll go back to Pedro Pascal. Last of Us was a really big hit, and it's based on a video game, but it's really endearing, good story. It's almost like a post-apocalyptic, and he's trying to save this girl, and that premieres next week. So that's like, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff coming out.
How are we going to have enough time?
I know. That's
You're
what
gonna have to text
my
me some of
husband
those,
always
'cause I'll
laughs at
forget.
me. He was like, "How are you going to have enough time to watch
My
all your
schedule.
stories?
My schedule is getting full.
My stories.
All my stories. Oh, thank God for streaming. But I don't think there's anything like besides the same old boring like pop culture news. You know, they're still talking about Diddy, P. Diddy, whatever you want to. They're still, you know, they're still talking about Justin Baldoni. And
no one cares about
nobody
that
cares about that. Today on TMZ, they said Harvey Weinstein made a comment about being in support of Justin whatever. I'm like, wow, I'm glad, but he's glad he's got his support.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
But there isn't anything like, you know, earth shattering.
No, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Other things
There
are
are other
earth-shattering.
things are shattering.
Yeah, I was going to
Real
say,
life.
you kind of wish that there was a little bit more scandal in that area because it would take away from the political climate, but oh well.
Well, the news story that I had, this was like my worst nightmare turned into like a real story. Did you see? I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not fun. I would have lost my mind. The girl that was babysitting in Kansas.
I know what you're going to say.
Yes. And the little kid, like she put everybody to bed and like, okay, everybody go to bed. And they're like, okay. Well, a kid comes back out and says, I don't know. I think that there's like a monster under my bed. And she's like, oh, haha, I'll come in and show you there's no monster under your bed. And she gets down on her hands and knees and lifts up the thing. And there is a man
Jesus Christ.
underneath the bed.
Oh my God.
And Yes. I was like, talk about scarring.
I mean, that's your worst childhood like
Yes.
fear.
And a babysitter fear. I was like,
Yes, the babysitter fear. Now, he was known to the family. He was known to the family, but they
He's
had
a known felon.
They had a restraining order against him.
Okay. So was anybody
someone
harmed?
that they-
I mean, was it okay?
no,
I mean,
he pushed everybody out of the way to leave.
Yeah.
And he escaped on foot, but they caught him.
okay.
Because they knew who he was.
Yeah.
But
I am not looking under any beds.
No.
anymore.
Poor girl.
You got anything else? Breaking Tracy?
I wrote one down that I don't know anything about, so I don't know that I should
that'll
bring
be-
it up.
Maybe we should just make it up.
I mean, maybe
It's the Tate brothers being in Florida.
Who are they?
are you going to make it up?
Can
'Cause
do you know that enough about that?
Not really.
Okay.
I just think they're like two of the ones that started the whole gross guys
masculinity, toxic
okay,
masculinity.
so-
masculinity.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, there's
I
two
said
of them?
gross-
They're brothers. Yeah, I knew that they were.
They
that
were
they're-
out of the country together because one of them or both of them was wanted here in the States.
for like sexual assault, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Are they American
Yes.
citizens? Okay.
And
I didn't know there was two of them. Great.
the governor of Florida said they can't come here to our state, and they did because someone higher than him said they could.
Oh, that's so weird. I wonder who that could have been.
So I don't know what's going on with them. I just know that
Yeah, I
it's
hear
something.
a lot about like I'll flip through and see a lot. And I'm like, I don't know who these
Yeah.
people are, but
On the note of Tate, I don't know his first name. I just know that he's toxic masculinity guy. I have not watched yet. My mother watched, but she told me I should watch Adolescence.
I watched the first episode.
I've watched it.
Is it as disturbing as I think it's going to be?
Yes, and my cousin Liz, that is an avid listener.
Hi, Liz.
She was very upset by it. Like she said, I talked to her like the next day after she had seen it, and I'd seen it like a week or so before, so I was kind of already in my rear view. But she's like, I woke up disturbed.
I had a hard time getting through the first episode, and I haven't gone back to it. Not that I don't think that it's something maybe to watch and compelling, but it's hard to watch.
I haven't watched it, but am I to understand that sort of Tate-like culture in getting to younger boys as they...
Yes, they don't really talk about it except for one scene.
Okay.
Isn't that kind of a crisis over there right now? I mean, it's not based on a true story, but it's based on events.
Yes.
Like, wasn't there an uptick in like knife attacks and things in the UK?
Probably.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I kind of read a little bit of a background
I
about
didn't
it.
see that part, but and everyone who's into like film and stuff, so there's however many 7 episodes.
Yeah, yeah.
And each one is shot.
Yeah, it is.
continuously.
It's kind of hard to watch.
So
One
there's
take.
one take. Yeah. So I guess that's a big deal. It's slow. It was slow to me, but
Worth a
good.
watch.
it's worth
Okay.
a watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have anything better to do.
I know the young boy that's in it. That was his first acting job ever.
Yeah.
Well, I've just seen clips and
in
he-
the first episode, you're like, "Are you kidding me? He's never acted before." I mean, it was pretty good.
Okay. Kim, do you have another breaking story, or shall I?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I don't.
This will wrap it up. I think this is a good way to wrap it up. Very lighthearted. Did you see that in a smaller community in Japan that they made trading cards, kind of like Pokemon cards, featuring the middle-aged men from their town? And it's gone viral.
For what?
I mean, they wanted to make. There was a picture. It says it was a Sadosho Community Center launched 47 cards. They said characters, but these are like real people, and like it was kind of laid out like a Pokemon card, and it was middle-aged men in their community because they wanted the children to connect with the older generation and like know about them.
Kind
It's
of adorable.
So kind of like fun facts about them.
Yeah, so it said that of the 47 characters, one of them, Mr. Fuji, I swear I hope this was a true site. All of a sudden it sounds like The Onion. Mr. Fuji was a 67-year-old prison guard turned volunteer, and his is the most sought after collector card.
Aw.
And the kids love it. him so much, like they go and have him sign it.
Oh, that's kind
adorable.
of sweet.
So I mean, could we just like middle-aged women cards?
I might scare people away.
It's my menopause card.
Screams.
I want them for my siesta.
Cries for no reason.
Yes. Her superpower. Yes. No, but I thought that was
that is
weird.
what
Yet,
Yeah.
Adorable.
That is
Fun.
adorable.
but then I was
I
like,
have
why
a
just
picture
men?
in my mind.
You know why?
Oh, damn it. You're right. I know why. But that's why I think that we should do middle-aged women cards. Collect all three. We're just...
All three.
Yeah, it's just us. Okay. So, yeah, people are doing wholesome things everywhere.
You can find it. You just got to look for it.
You got to dig.
You do.
And it was worth it.
Yeah.
Any other parting thoughts about the news that you would like to...
Nope.
I'll just say, just wait a day or a minute, and things might change.
Yep.
You just don't know. If we missed any late breaking story that you think everyone should know about, please, by all means, reach out to us. We would love to hear from you on Up for Grabs. And also, please feel free to subscribe, like, follow, tell somebody that you know to listen to our podcast, because we think we're delightful. So we think you will too. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Up for Grabs.